Guys, Big T here, and we are back with part 2 of my game files tutorial. Now this one is going to be more showing off the models than really how to. Basically, if you want to get at the actual game models, you have to get into these files that they're built by. The game is made with a program called Unity, and what Unity does is it creates these cabinet files that basically compress all of the game data into chunks. Now, even if you have a copy of Unity, you won't be able to read these files. They're basically, if you go in there with a hex editor, the data is there, it's just kind of scattered. So you need the actual files that Kabam is using to make the game in order to read these files, or that's the way it's supposed to work, anyways. For example, characters is going to have your models. All you get when you go into characters are these asset bundles. Unity uses the word asset for everything that they have. So the model of a character is an asset. The skin on that model is an asset. The bones that do the animating is an asset. The coloring, shading, animation, everything is an asset. Now, on my earlier videos, you'll see that I had the models in what they call a T-pose. That's where they're standing straight up with their arms out. That's when you're doing character modeling, biped character model. That's what you start out as, so there's always that beginning reference. That's all I had. I didn't have any other poses because I couldn't figure out how to get the bones. Well, on this last update, I figured I was late getting the new character info out to you, so I spent some time on my modeling software, and I got the bones finally, which still didn't make the work easier, but at least it made it possible. Basically what you have to do is there's a program out there called Disunity that will decompress these files, but even that program has limits. It was designed to pull out for certain games and certain type of models. It doesn't do any bone data at all. So all you're going to get with Disunity, well, it does do the data, it just doesn't know what to do with it. So if you want to get into these files, look up Disunity. I'm not going to tell you anything about how to use it because that's a whole other video on its own. Figure out how to use Disunity, and what you want to do is extract these asset bundles as raw pieces. When you extract them as raw pieces, you'll get a whole bunch of numbered the Unity uses numbers to reference the files, so you'll get just a whole bunch of numbered files, bin files that are useless. Once you get those bin files, then you have to find a way to decode what's in them. And the way to do that, if you're a 3D model, if you're into 3D modeling, those bin files, you need to create a script that will kind of unjumble them, make use out of that raw data. That's what I had to do. I had to write a script. I know probably guys are going to ask me for my script. I've had guys ask me for it before. I'm not giving out the script because the next thing that happens as soon as I give the script out is I get asked, what do I do with this? It's not that I don't want to give it out, it's I can't show everybody how to do it. And my scripts that I write aren't made for distribution. If I could spend the time and make it graphical so you could just load the script into Maya, and that use the script as just a point and click. But I'm using it command line, and it's just not something I can do in this video without making this video a 4-hour video. So there's that. That'll give you a start if you have the knowledge, or if you want to gain the knowledge. This is what you want to get into, are these character asset bundles. Will give you model information. I haven't done the animations yet. I might, because if I want to mess around with the models, it's nice to have those animations already pre-done. But again, I've got to figure out how to read this animation raw data and get it into the game, into the programs I use. So that's tricky too. So that said, let's go into Maya. This is I like 3D Studio. It's pretty good, but there isn't a Mac version of 3D Studio. And now that I'm using Maya and getting used to it, it's actually pretty cool. So basically what you're going to do is, when you get your models pulled out of the game and all done, I already did the skinning and everything. I'm just going to open the scenes that I created. Okay, so I've got most of the upcoming stuff in here. Let's do Deadpool first. There he is. I'm going to get rid of all of this stuff here. Hide. There we go. So yeah, the nice thing with showing this over those prize graphics is I can actually show you every side of him. I didn't do his swords. I got all the data for those, so I might do those if I get into posing them more. I might get into that. You might see some videos. I might do myself a new intro with these models. Cool thing is, it takes a lot of time, but you can do pretty much whatever you want. Let's bring up our channel box. So basically what you're going to do, if you get this far, which it is quite a task, it's been taking me months, but I kept putting it off because of the bones were kind of a difficult nut to crack. But once you get here, what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to pick a joint, and then you're going to be able to move it around. So if you want to get him out of that T-pose, be able to put his hands down. Let's do kind of a, we'll maybe do a superhero kind of a look here, maybe, if we can. As you can see, that's where you get quite time consuming, is if you want to make yourself a cool superhero picture. It's not bad, but it's definitely time consuming. Back to our fully shaded image here. And then you can You can animate them, do some pictures, whatever. There you go, there's Deadpool. Let's open up another one here. Let's do Elektra. She should be coming up on Thursday. Again, nothing too new there. Everybody kind of saw. Like, one thing that's neat is even the clothing has these little controls. So if you want to do some animating while they're moving around, you can have that clothing kind of flowing around. It's all kind of cool. Face, we got our face morphs here too. So if you kind of want to do a little bit of a snarl. A lot of messing around involved doing this stuff. Eyeballs, you can kind of do their eyeballs as well. Make them cross-eyed if you want. If you took the time, you could even do if you could take the step-by-step, you could actually do speech in that with them too, but that takes quite a while. Normally, game companies have controls, and I think in my process I lost the controls. Controls are little sticks that come out where you'll be able to move a part of the body and it won't just mess it up. Like, for example, if I take her foot here and I just move it, it stretches. Now, if this model was rigged properly, as soon as I moved that foot, the knee joint would move, the hip joint would move, and even sometimes the whole body would lift off the ground, just like if you were to grab somebody's ankle and pull it, the whole body reacts. And that makes animating way easier instead of these little dials. Now, it's not that they didn't have them, I might have just missed them somewhere. I would hope they would have them. If they don't have them, that's probably why Kabam makes all of the animations the same on each character, or on a lot of them, is because this would take a long time to do each character that way. So there we go, let's go to our next one. Iron Fist with his white outfit. There he is. Not a lot different. Kind of cool though. It's kind of the jumpsuit, kind of like Bruce Lee Enter the Dragon style jumpsuit. Kind of cool. Next up, we got our Magneto White. Marvel Now Magneto. That's the guy that I'm waiting for. And this one I did a pose on already. And I left him without his coloring, so I could show you that too. So basically, if you get this far too, and you want to get your maps in, you got to get the maps out. You got to get them converted properly as well. And once you do, let's go to attributes. You want to get over onto Fong 1. That's the type of shading they're using. And you're going to open your maps. So for color, you're going to pick your Magneto. Get to where it's at here. Materials, Magneto, Marvel Now difference. And there he is. And then there's the color, there's the bump mapping. Now what bump mapping is that gives you the depth, and that's a normalization file. Bump depth, we don't need the bump depth. We want to give that, let's give it about a 0.15, I think should do about good. And then we also have specular, that's the shininess of the now spec. That'll take that glossiness away and give them kind of a, my bumps are maybe a little bit high on him. That's the one thing that I couldn't find, the extract the setting automatically, was the bump maps, but that's okay. That's easy to control. Let's drop them down to 0.1 maybe. I guess that's kind of skin-like. You can tweak that stuff up too. But that was my pose that I got from Magneto. Even the little fancy fight sprites, they call them, those are all models as well. So I might get his Magneto glow extracted and put that over the hand. Maybe put it down on this hand too. But that took me about 10 minutes to position him like that. But there you go. Let's go on to the next guy. Moon Knight. That's another one I'm kind of looking forward to. Pretty cool looking. Wasn't a big Moon Knight comic fan, but it's pretty cool looking in here. Should have some neat. He uses a staff, so there should be some nice moves in there with his staff. Spider-Man Black, that's another one. Pretty cool. Black costume. He'll be a cool one to pose to. And last but not least is our War Machine. That should be fairly soon. We do the War Machine too. I haven't got his. I left him unskinned too. Maybe I better put that on there. Give you a good look at him. Machine. Now this actually, that's why I left this one. Is this one has lighted parts to the model, which is you only see that on usually the Iron Man and Ultrons and that have glowing bits, and that's a separate part to the setup. Should be, let's just put that at 0.1 again. And actually, you could actually play around with a lot of this stuff yourself too if you wanted to make it look different. If you do Hulk, you could make yourself a red Hulk instead of a green Hulk if you play around with Photoshop. So what you want is you're going to have glow. Now you can make the whole thing glow, but if you pick the map, it'll always show up as emission, and that just kind of gives you a black map with these little spots. And what that does is it allows light to shine through the through on the character. There you go. So the eyes are glowing now. Little chest piece. This is another cool one. You get the gun here. If you want to move the gun around, you can. So obviously he's going to be using that gun in the. They made the gun movable, so in the game that gun's going to be shooting some stuff up, which is pretty cool. There you go. Leave me comments if there's certain models you want to see. Keep in mind if you want to see them in a certain pose, I could try doing it. Animation with these little controls take quite a while. So if you want to see Iron Man or War Machine doing the Macarena, it's going to be pretty tough for me to do that. But if you want to see him posed in a certain way, I can do that and post up a picture of him in a certain pose if you're looking to use a picture of him on some way. That would take. I'll offer to do that for guys because that would be a lot quicker for me to pose this guy and send you a picture, and then for me to show you how to get to this point, because it took a lot of work and I know what I'm doing. If you've never done it, best thing I could say, unless you want to take a course, is to get in there, get the software, and just start playing around. And once you get that, move on to the next. Take you a little while though. There you go. That's the new models. I've got all the old models extracted as well. So pretty much any in-game model right now I can now pose, and once I've posed them in a certain way, I can even Photoshop them into something, which is pretty cool. So there you go. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.